OG can take a bitch down, Kirsten, so you might want to tread lightly. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? I've now tuned into my Basketball Wives recap. Make sure you subscribe and all that other good stuff, and check out my other channel because that's where I have Love and Hip Hop. So, we start off with Jackie and Evelyn. They were still bickering and whatever, you know, having their little words. But it didn't get too crazy this time around, which was good. Tammy was starting to get a little bit involved in it. But I've noticed that lately what she does is she just kind of exits. I think because her brand is really, like, taking off. And she don't want to be that person, you know? You can definitely lose a lot of things if people think that you're just, like, this aggressive person. Even though that is the way she kind of came up. Now, a lot of people won't book you if they feel like you're a liability or whatever. So you definitely have to be careful with what you do. So I think that that's partly or part of the reason why she kind of like lately you just kind of see her exiting really quickly or earlier than everybody else lately. Yeah, I'm watching Tammy Roman. And don't y'all feel, I feel like she's getting so thin. Like, let's just address the elephant in the room. Like, I feel like when she was thicker, she looked a lot more healthier. Now it's like almost like her face is kind of like sucked in. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's still a beautiful woman, but I just feel like, I don't know, or maybe it's just because she's aging, I don't know, but I just kind of feel like her face looks so thin and her bones are so prominent now that it's just kind of making her look really sucked in and a lot older than she used to look before. But it could just be aging process, you know? I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all know. So Kirsten, Evelyn, and... Oh, but before that, let me talk about Kristen and OG. So I feel like Kirsten, she was kind of like judging OG as soon as she came in because of the bathing suit she had on and the way she was dressed. You know, she kind of was revealing her body and all them things. So it's like she was already judging her and wasn't really liking her. She already had like the screwed up face. And I didn't think Kirsten was that type just by looking at her, but I don't know if she's just trying to do the most. Kristen kind of reminds me of, you know, I forget them names. There was a girl that she looked just like, well, she looked kind of like Kirsten from back like season 2, maybe. I don't know if y'all remember her. She was like the girl who was like the video girl or whatever. She wasn't a wife. She was just like the one that the wives don't want you to be around. The groupie. She was like a dancer or something. I forgot her name. But she kind of reminds me of a little bit like her. She has like a similar like facial features. I don't know what this girl, I don't know if she's mixed with something or whatever, but hey, she got some good hair. I know that's kind of sounded stereotypical, but she really does. She has some like nice curly hair and it looks like it's growing out of her scalp. Anyways, back to the point that I was trying to make. So yeah, she seemed like she was judging her, and then her and OG, like OG said something about, oh, you know, we need to do something, and then she was just kind of like, we. Like, don't put me in that category of we. She's like, I'm saying we because it's all of us sitting down. You know, like, I'm not trying to, like, single you out or anything, you know? And I feel like she said it in a proper way. It's like almost anything she would have said, this girl, Kirsten, would have had some kind of problem with it. So she, you know, like, as Kirsten was leaving, she went over to her to kind of, like, talk to her real quick, like, you know, like, what's good? And she's just like, oh, I don't want you putting me in the category with we, and you just came and sat down, so, like, what are you talking about? And I'm just like, what? And then Kirsten's just like, oh, you know, I have a husband. I have a whole husband. And she's like, oh, where is he? She's like, with my kid. And she's like, oh, is he? That was shady, though. But I think she was just, like, over it and over the whole attitude. Like, I invite you to my party. Why are you trying to shade me? Why are you trying to, like, come at me crazy like that? So then, she said something about bitch. Oh, she's like, no, you're not going to do the whole bitch thing. She's like, don't call me that. And then she was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. Yeah, because you know this girl, she plays football. Like, what do you do? I'm pretty sure that OG could take her down, like, simple. Her husband was like, you okay? Like, he seen her face when she came back. She like, you know, people trying me. You know, just kind of had to shut that down real quick. So Kirsten, Evelyn, Jennifer, and Shaunie, they met up to talk about the pool party, you know, everything that went down or whatever. And Kirsten's just like, oh, she was being nice and OG came for her. I'm like, everybody has their own perspective of what happens in a particular situation. And I feel like her perspective was all wrong. Like, yeah. Like, I didn't hear her say that she called her a bitch. I didn't hear her say that she was looking at her stink from the time that she came in. You know, I didn't hear her say any of those things. It was just kind of like, she attacked me, you know, playing victim. No, there's reasons why she attacked you or she came at you the way she did, because you're like just coming at her. Like, I mean, even me, like, I'm a real chill, laid back person, but you come at me with all that shade, I'm just like, it's just gonna like boil up until I have to address you. And it's probably not gonna even boil up that much, because it's either one of two things. I'm gonna address you, which I probably would do, or I'm gonna walk away. It depends on the I guess the situation, where we at, stuff like that, and if I'm really in the mood to, you know, go at it or not. Following that, Shaunie and Tammie, they meet up. Shaunie tells her what Jennifer told her about how she feels like she doesn't laugh when she makes jokes about Evelyn, but you know, when it's the other way around, it's kind of like you do all the laughing, like, you know. I guess she just feels kind of way like, oh, you're mad loyal to Evelyn, you don't want to laugh if I make a joke about her, but if it's the flip way around, it's like you're dying rolling on the floor, you know. But she was just like, you know, it's not even like that. And they kind of just talked it out. And I feel like they have, and even Tammy had said this, they have a strong enough bond right now to be able to move past most things. But she's like, you know, she does need to address Jennifer, because Jennifer is like throwing little things out here and it's starting to get annoying to her. She's like, you know, she's being real messy right about now. Jackie, she talks to her daughter about just like family stuff and how they never really were the hugging type and things like that. And her daughter says that she did want to get those types of things. Like, she wanted to get hugs and stuff like that. And that's why right now she's like a really affectionate person, because she didn't get those things as a kid. And I guess Jackie didn't really realize the way that she was and how she gives hugs to kind of like everybody else except her immediate family. Well, probably her kids. So she did go to seek therapy, and the therapist was like on it. Like, she was like on point. I was like, oh, this lady's mad powerful. And she was just kind of like looking at things and telling her, analyzing certain things and events in her life, like how she was a foster kid, and there were times where the foster parents seemed like they didn't care. They just was like, you know, if they finish their food, then they won't have to eat their nails and stuff like that. Like, kind of sticks to you, especially when you're a little kid. It just kind of makes you feel like nobody cares about you, and nobody, like, you could just die pretty much if you finish the little bit of food that you have. So all those things made her want to be in control of all situations at all times. And I can totally relate in a certain sense, where because of certain situations that I couldn't control, I try to control as many as I possibly can, which can be messed up and it can piss people off, you know, especially like family members or whatever. But it's because of the way that I look at certain things, or I don't want certain things to ever go back to the way they were. Or I'm just, I guess subconsciously, I'm just like, oh my God, like I was never able to fix that or resolve that. I couldn't control that. So what I can, I will. Or what I feel I can. Jennifer and Malaysia, they meet up, and she wants her to meet up with Evelyn and just kind of like make sure they're good. They both don't seem to have any problems with each other. Evelyn says she kind of stayed away from her because she was always around the black cloud and she didn't want to be around that, but she doesn't really have any issues with her. And Malaysia's like, you know, this is not high school. Just because I am cool with somebody or whatever, or that's my friend, doesn't mean that we can't have like a chat. We can't have some kind of friendship, you know. She didn't say those words, but like they can't be cool or whatever. And so it seems like they good or whatever, and that's pretty much like that was the episode in a nutshell. I mean, there were other little things that happened, but to me they weren't all that serious, so it's just like whatever. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one.